Almost impossible to miss. India's growth story is rising into view. Only the ideologically blinkered will deny it. In just the last few months, Prime Minister Narendra Modi can be seen crisscrossing the length and breadth of the nation, literally from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, inaugurating breathtaking and record-breaking infrastructure projects. We'll list them in just a minute. They include ports, the highest span bridges, longest, highest tunnels, massive roadways, airports. Viewers, you name it, and there is someone like the Prime Minister cutting a ribbon. The buzz around the India growth story that peaked last quarter at a whopping 7.8% of GDP is bringing investors to flock to the country. It could always be more, one could argue. But there's no denying that everyone who wants to make it big is betting big on India. Listen to UK Premier Keir Starmer, who has landed in India this morning with the biggest business and trade delegation ever in the history of the United Kingdom. And let me tell you, viewers, the British, Napoleon once said, were a nation of shopkeepers. What he was alluding to was their entrepreneurial spirit. So when they sense an opportunity, they go straight in. And that's exactly what is happening, viewers. Listen in to Keir Starmer. You can see him. He's standing amongst the biggest delegation, taking photographs and tweeting it, saying, viewers, that we want to make jobs in UK by investing in India. That's the confidence. Listen in.
The first thing I want to say is a massive thank you to all of you for being here in India with us, because this is the biggest trade mission that the United Kingdom has ever sent to India. And I think it's really good evidence of just how strong the relationship is and how many business opportunities there are. And we've got businesses, some of the biggest businesses doing deals, a business with India, some of the iconic businesses, small businesses as well. So we've got all sorts of businesses here. We've got great academic institutions represented, brilliant universities that are already doing great stuff here and about to do even more of it. And then we've got art and culture, film, drama, sports as well. So a really important and big delegation. So thank you for being here. Obviously, this is a two-parter, if you like. We had Prime Minister Modi over to the United Kingdom earlier this year to sign the FTA, the free trade agreement that we agreed. Today is the return leg of that, if you like. That FTA is really important for us. It's the biggest deal that we've struck since we left the EU.
Here's the emphasis on biggest. Biggest delegation, biggest deal, biggest opportunity. Tomorrow, the UK Prime Minister will meet Prime Minister Modi in Mumbai, but the Prime Minister was already there in the city because he inaugurated the Navi Mumbai airport today, along with the metro line. And I'm going to show you those pictures. And is expected to inaugurate the Noida International Airport in Jewar in a few days. And he said that Vikas has taken wing in India. If you see those pictures, viewers, of that international airport that has been opened in Navi Mumbai, your jaw will drop. It's just amazing that there is, those are the pictures, that there is, in his words, a Vikas ki Udan taking place in India. And he's not exaggerating. Consider what has been unveiled in just the last quarter, the Chenab Rail Bridge. And I'm going to take you through this list, viewers. The Chenab Rail Bridge in Jammu and Kashmir, world's highest railway arch bridge, 359 meters above the Chenab River, taller than the Eiffel Tower. You can see a glimpse of that on the corner of your screens. I'm sorry it's such an obscure picture, but obviously it looks much bigger, viewers. Atal Setu, the Mumbai Trans Harbour Link, Maharashtra, India's longest sea bridge, 21.8 kilometers, 6-lane link between Mumbai and Navi Mumbai, viewers. It'll make that airport closer. Sela Tunnel, Arunachal Pradesh, world's longest twin-lane tunnel at 13,000 feet altitude, ensuring all-weather access to Tawang. Viewers, this means that Indian troops can also reach The frontiers. Never happened before. Navi Mumbai International Airport, we just talked about that. The international airport will be India's largest greenfield airport with 20 million passengers, phase 1 capacity. Greenfield, starting from nothing. Scratch. Sudarshan Setu. Gujarat, India's longest cable-stayed bridge linking Oka to Beit Dwarka Island, viewers. There's a glimpse of that. Winningham International Seaport. Kerala, India's first deep-water transshipment port with a natural draft of 20 meters rivaling Colombo and Singapore. We are going to be giving real competition. Dwarka Expressway, India's first 8-lane elevated urban expressway, part of the NH48 decongestion plan. The Anji Khad Bridge, Jammu and Kashmir. I told you, viewers, literally, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. India's first cable-stayed railway bridge, companion to the Chenab Bridge on the USBRL route. The Mahi Banswara Atomic Power Project in Rajasthan, one of India's largest nuclear power installations. The numbers are there, viewers. They're staring back at us. The Sonmarg Tunnel, Z-Mode Tunnel. Jammu and Kashmir, high altitude all-weather tunnel connecting Gagangir to Sonamarg. And it's not just hard physical infrastructure, it's jobs that are putting more money in the hands of the consumers, leading to the beginning of a virtuous growth cycle. Here are the signs observed over the record-breaking Navratri consumption demand spree, viewers. Let me tell you, sales like this haven't taken place for 10 years. Auto sales 34% rise, two-wheelers 38% rise, electronics 25% rise, apparel 6 to 8% rise, FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods 15% rise. All these facts negate the negativists. You know what they've been saying, viewers. Especially Rahul Gandhi, who had latched on to a loose comment made in frustration by Donald Trump and peddled it like it was some big fact. Let me refresh your minds. Donald Trump first said, don't care what India does with Russia. He was speaking, viewers, because he was frustrated. They can take their dead economies down together. We have done very little business with India. Their tariffs are too high. Likewise, Russia and US do almost no business. Let's keep it that way, unquote. Of course, viewers, he was falsifying. But no, viewers, Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition, jumps on that and says Indian economy is a dead economy. The entire world knows it, except Prime Minister and Finance Minister. I'm glad President Trump has stated a fact. Viewers, if the whole world knows this, what is Keir Starmer doing in India? What is the EU wanting to do with India? Why are other heads of states from Southeast Asia all the way to Africa and South America landing here, viewers, wanting a slice of what pie? How did we end up, viewers, exporting the world's largest number of iPhones from our country? The facts speak for themselves and they raise questions. If Prime Minister Modi has presided over a dead economy, why did GDP grow at an unexpected 7.8% in Q1? If there is rampant unemployment, who is building the infrastructure that is being dedicated to the people? If times are so tough, why are people consuming durables in record numbers, setting new consumption records, when surely they should be saving? There are many more questions to be posed, but I want to begin with an individual who has come with the UK Premier, Keir Starmer, to India. And his name, of course, is Karan Bilimoria. He's a Lord in the upper house, British Parliament. And thank you, Mr. Bilimoria, for making the time. What brings you here as part of the largest ever trade delegation to India? Could you explain to our viewers why have you spent so much money to come here to India if it's a dead economy?
I've been on every Prime Minister delegation going back to 2005, 20 years ago, with Tony Blair to India. Big business delegation accompanying him, ministers, university leaders, press. Again, the same thing with Gordon Brown. After that, with David Cameron. After that, Theresa May was the last Prime Ministerial delegation in 2016, 9 years ago. There has not been one since then. Boris Johnson didn't bring one. Rishi Sunak didn't bring one. Now, I'm absolutely delighted that Prime Minister Keir Starmer has brought one of the biggest business delegations ever to India. Over 100 business leaders from all sectors, manufacturing, services, business organizations, such as the International Chamber of Commerce, the ICC, of which I'm chair in the UK, the CBI, the Confederation of British Industry, if I'm a former president, we're all here, along with university vice chancellors, along with ministers and the press. And this is making a big impact because it's now less than 3 months since the free trade agreement between the UK and India was signed at Chequers in the UK by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Keir Starmer. And within 3 months, the two prime ministers are meeting again in India. The free trade agreement was a landmark agreement. It took over 3.5 years to negotiate, and it is in the backdrop of the UK being the sixth largest economy in the world, India being the fourth largest economy in the world, and yet, with India being the fastest growing major economy in the world, growing at 6.5% a year, with a target of 8% a year, the UK is only the 11th largest trading partner where India is concerned. India is only the 11th largest trading partner of the UK. It should be one of the handful of largest trading partners of the UK. And India, within a few years, is going to be the third largest economy in the world. Bilateral trade is 43 billion pounds in goods and services. It should be far higher than that. And I think as a result of the free trade agreement, as a result of this delegation making a huge impact here in Mumbai, in India, saying the UK means business with India, I think that we can double bilateral trade from 43 billion pounds to well over 80 billion pounds by 2030.
Well, you'll only be doing that if you think that the prospects of India's economy are bright. And you've said it's going to soon be the third largest, and therefore you're eyeing obviously greater prospects. But Donald Trump suggested that India was a dead economy. Many here, like Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition, echoed his sentiments. How do you see this from your perspective, Lord?
India is a vibrant economy. Since India's liberalization in 1991, India has opened up as an economy. From the early 2000s, it was growing at almost 10% a year. It is now growing at an average rate of 6.5% a year with a target of 8% a year. It is booming on all fronts: infrastructure development, AI and technology, defense manufacturing, financial services in every area. In education, foreign universities are now allowed to open up in India, and the UK has the best universities in the world, along with the United States of America. UK universities are already opening up in India. Russell Group universities, top universities in the UK, and many more have committed to opening up in India. There are 9 vice chancellors from top UK universities on this delegation, and almost every one of them has the intention to or has already committed to opening up campuses in India. This is great news for India and great news for the UK.
Well, you unbiased, member of the House of Lords, giving your perspective, viewers. This is not somebody who has been asked by Mr. Modi to sit on this panel, let me tell you. So I want to ask you, Lord Billy Maria, what is attractive? This is a very pointed question. What is attractive about the Indian economy to foreign investors such as you? What is bringing you here?
Oh, India is a booming economy. Not only is it the fastest growing major economy in the world, it's going a growing middle class, a huge consuming class where demand is increasing all the time in every possible sector, with huge possibilities in India, not as an outsourcing destination, but as a partner, a strategic partner, where research and innovation and defense manufacturing, education, security, and real partners as countries. So have great faith in the future of the UK-India relationship. And this delegation is a landmark event in securing that bright future for both countries.
Well, Karan Billy Maria, thank you very much for speaking to us. I'll let you go. I want to open this up and bring in the guests. There's a BJP national spokesperson who knows economics like the back of her hand. There's Nikhil Jain, who represents the Congress point of view, senior fellow IPCS. Mr. Iyer Mitra here with us. O.P. Jindal University's leading economist, Dipanshu Mohan here with us. So I want to ask a very blunt question of Nikhil Jain. And please, Nikhil, I know that you sometimes get upset by the bluntness of my questions, but after what we've heard from Lord Billy Maria, who is certainly on nobody's speed dial and therefore is above influence, I want to ask you, is the LOP, the leader of the opposition, lying to India when he says India is a dead economy? Is he abusing his constitutional post and his authority to mislead the nation for his own political interests?
Rahul, Lord Villamoria very clearly made a point that he's been a part of multiple delegations that have, that have come from the UK to India starting in 2005. So what Rahul Gandhi said is to be placed in context. Nobody is saying that Indian economy is absolutely dead. There is zero GDP. Nobody is ever saying that. What Rahul Gandhi said was in context. Rahul, you'll have to let me complete. You'll have to let me complete. What the context of it was that our manufacturing growth is not what it used to be. Our rate of growth of the GDP is not what it used to be. The government does not have a vision or a clear plan in terms of how they're going to tackle the challenges that come with AI and the way it's changing the service economy as well as the manufacturing sector. It was a comment in that context. No
Oh,
economy is dead. No
I
economy
see.
can be a zero
I
GDP
see, I
economy.
see.
And
This is
I
what he
think
said,
it's
viewers.
very best
I don't know
if that
who
is
is
going
the
to
liar
take
here, but let me just put it out there factually, quote unquote. This is what Rahul Gandhi said. Indian economy is a dead economy. There was no context and there was no reference. Indian economy is
Rahul,
a dead.
context,
One
the
second now,
context
don't
is that
speak
our
over me. I never
manufacturing is
interrupted,
reducing.
sir. I never spoke over you. Why are you defending the indefensible, sir? It's written in black and white. Have you become the Chaudhry of Rahul Gandhi ji? Do you sit on his tongue? Do you know exactly what he's saying in his head? So don't. I mean, why are you not letting me share exactly what Rahul Gandhi has said? This is what he said. Indian economy is a dead economy. The entire world knows it except Prime Minister and Finance Minister. I'm glad President Trump has stated a fact. There was no but, if, only, likely, context, subcontext. There was nothing. It was a blunt
Rahul,
statement. It was an
if you want to
affirmation.
add,
So let me, let
if
me,
you want to
let me,
add that
let,
dense, I think your viewers can decide who's right and who's wrong.
Sir, if
If
that
you're
is
going
your
to add that
response,
dense,
that is your response,
go
you've
ahead.
already lost the fight. Anyhow, let me just quickly bring in Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, the point that Nikhil Jain is making is look at the larger context. We have not grown in double digits. We are not attracting investments in the quantities that we should be. We are not creating jobs in the quantity that we should be. How do you then say that India is a vibrant economy? How is Lord Bilumoria also saying it?
You know, Rahul, there's this famous quote by Tennessee Williams: a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So I'm not here to convince Modi naysayers, but your audience, which is the biggest stakeholder in your debates, needs to listen to some hard data. First and foremost, I completely debunk this narrative that India has been growing only at 6.5%. Look at the last 4 financial years. FY22 GDP growth 9.7%, FY23 GDP growth 7.6%, FY24 GDP growth 9.2%, and yes, FY25 GDP growth 6.5%. The average GDP growth of last 4 financial years, Rahul, stands at a massive 8.25%, when the average globally of the last 4 years is not even 2%. The world is either fighting with deflation, disinflation, or stagflation. And let me point out one more thing. Globally, you're seeing GDP growth falling, but inflation rising. India is the only major economy which first quarter of FY26, grew at 7.8%, and inflation currently, I'm talking of retail inflation, is just 2.07%. Food inflation is negative at minus 0.69%. But be that as it may, I want to draw the attention of your audience to other important parameters, because people say, oh, GDP growth numbers are fudged. Let me tell you one thing. After 18 long years, global rating giant Standard & Poor raised India's long-term sovereign rating from BBB minus to BBB. And let me tell you one more thing, Rahul. In the last so many decades post-independent India, I did some number crunching. We've attracted a little over $1 trillion worth of FDI. And do you know something, Rahul? More than 70%, as in $700 billion of FDI has come into India in the last 11 years alone. And my final point is this. Keep GDP growth aside. Last quarter, manufacturing industrial growth was up by 7.6%, construction up by 7.7%, the services sector was up by 9.3%, gross fixed capital formation was up by 7.8%, Gross fixed capital expenditure by the government was up by
So,
9.7% and private expenditure was up by 7.2%.
okay.
The economy is firing on all
All cylinders.
cylinders.
So Nikhil Jain, unless you have real problems with those numbers, I'll come back to you. But I want to bring in both Dipanshu Mohan and Mr. Iyer Mitra. Dipanshu Mohan, what is the context? Fine, let's for a moment say that, look, Rahul Gandhi is right. In some obscure parallel universe, he is right. If I wanted to underline and give him a fig leaf, where would I begin? If you were the Congress party's national spokesperson today, in the face of all these statistics, the evidence that I am showing you, the physical evidence that you are seeing before you, how would you defend him?
Okay, that's. Thank you, Rahul, for having me here. First of all, I would probably abstain from being a spokesperson of the Congress party. It has far too many
It's not that difficult.
problems.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Look at Nikhil
it's-
Jain. He
it's
comes
quite-
out swinging every day. It's not that difficult, for God's sake.
So I
Come on.
would say the
difficult job.
following. The only two things that I get mostly worried about when I look at the structural composition of growth at this point of time is broadly in two spectrums. One is urban consumption demand and the process of employment rate, particularly amongst the youth who are aspiring to get absorbed across organized sectors for greater employment opportunities. There's also a shift in rural-urban migration where a lot of the people working, migrating, and migration is a big issue in the Bihar elections, as we all know. A lot of the absorption of the migrants is happening in the gig economy. Construction is not absorbing as much of the migrant workforce as it did at some point of time. And there are sectors which, perhaps because of capacity issues, are not seeing the amount of domestic private investment that otherwise would be quite possible.
Okay.
Which is why we need strong partnerships with international trade bankers. On the India-UK trade agreement, I must confess, it is one of the most well and comprehensively negotiated agreements I have come across. I must compliment the trade negotiators on this one. It in fact sets a template for India's broader trade engagement with other countries. There are two reasons for this, Rahul. One, it is not an agreement which is focused on a goods-only partnership. It goes beyond commodities.
Okay.
And India's strength is not in commodity-based exporting of goods. We know that because the data tells us that with the UK, we do a lot more on services. The US, we do a lot more in services. But the very important thing about this agreement, which is what I feel it has a future dimension to it, is that it focuses on a lot on value-added manufacturing and high-skilled services.
So-
Which means you need at a domestic level a lot more of intersectional reforms, particularly in higher education, where the gap between the academy and the industry
That's right.
is a huge gap.
But that's also an opportunity. That's also a major opportunity.
Absolutely. So
and
I would be happy seeing the 9 vice chancellors coming in from the UK,
Well-
setting up institutions here.
Well, good luck.
While at the same time, you would want a greater.
But just one very quick
sectoral
one.
partnership.
Net. India is certainly not a dead economy, is it? Dipanshu Mohan. You would disagree with the phraseology. Okay. He says it's
a
rubbish.
ridiculous.
Ridiculous point, viewers. Ridiculous point. Okay, Mr. Iyer Mitra, very quickly put this into perspective. Why then? I know that the opposition wants to score debating points, but why would it want to do it at the expense of looking silly? Because it's no longer just about data and numbers. You can see the physical manifestation. Why are they doing this?
Look, it's really quite sad to see where the Congress has come from to where it is now. If you interviewed Chidambaram, for example, he would be one of the most erudite people you could get, speaks with great nuance and things like that. Even he won't use the term dead economy. Now, this contextualization I'm hearing, it's actually, I want to disagree with you on this, Rahul. Being the Congress spokesperson today is the toughest job on earth. I think they need a salary of at least 1 crore a month. And if the INC had any sense, they would certainly be paying Nikhil about 1 crore a month at the very least. Because what you need to do here is, you understand, dead bodies, till I may be bald. And even when I'm 70, 80, my hair will grow. I will still need to go to a barber to cut the sides, which still grow, you see. My fingernails will have to be cut. But once I am dead, there will be no growth of my fingernails or my hair. So either you are a dead economy, or you are an economy where your growth is getting slower percentage wise. You can't be a slowing economy and a dead economy at the same time. Now, if he had said slowing economy where growth is slowing, you could still support that. But I've literally never seen a corpse where its hair grows unless in vampire movies. Now, I think this parallel universe you're talking about is some Transylvania that exists in, Rahul Gandhi's little game for one, imagination for one. And there is nothing to it. Now, Dipanshu's criticisms are very accurate. Can we do a lot more? Can we simulate it a lot more? Can we get this up to 8, 9% with, regulatory simplification? We're still horribly over-regulated.
Yeah.
You need bureaucratic accountability and things like that. Yes. But because you can get there doesn't mean you run down what has already been done. Let us celebrate what has been done.
I think that's the
And
point.
also then make constructive suggestions on what more needs to be done.
Yeah, I think that's a very balanced.
This is the nihilism we're seeing from the Congress. The Congress really, people don't. If you keep deflating people, they're not going to vote for you. People vote for people who give solutions.
Okay. So
okay, I can't go to the public and say, "Oh, you're dying. Please vote for me." No, I have to say, "Oh, you're dying. Here, I can bring you back to life."
I understand. I think the viewers are getting that drift. Now, very quickly to the last two individuals, Nikhil Jain and, of course, Ms. Verma. Very quickly, 30 seconds each, please. So please be mindful. I need to move on to the next subject. Nikhil Jain, I hope you're not going to tear your hair out because of what is being said. Let's hair split, yes. But please, be nuanced. You can't defend a statement like this where someone says it's a dead economy. So if you have a point to make, please make it.
Rahul, my point remains the same, that the statement was a hyperbole that you often use in
Okay,
political campaigning.
fine. I don't know, sir. I don't know.
Rupees in the ICU. Hold on. No. Rahul, you'll have to give me 30 seconds that you promised. Rupees in the ICU. 85 paisa, only 15 paisa reaches when the government spends 100 paisa. When I took over power, everything was empty. Now, was Narendra Modi saying that the government exchequer literally had 0 rupees? It was a hyperbole. Was Rahul Gandhi saying India literally has 0 GDP? No, it was a hyperbole. So when Narendra Modi can say that in opposition, Rahul Gandhi very well has the same right to make statements in hyperboles and superlatives.
So
as
he
Narendra
can.
Modi did.
So this is now classic whataboutery viewers. उन्होंने किया तो हम भी बोलेंगे. It doesn't matter that I'm the LOP. It doesn't matter that I'm the LOP. I don't have any responsibility. And he said, in fact, in one foreign tour of his. Okay, don't speak over me.
In one chief minister, and what did he used to say? Rupees in the ICU.
Okay. In one foreign.
ऐसे रुपया पतला नहीं होता.
Okay. Don't do this. Don't do this.
He used to act like a charlatan.
One second. Yes, but he was not the LOP. The man is sitting on a constitutional post, for God's sakes. Okay, Sanju Verma, very quick. Very quick, please.
Rahul,
Very quick.
now please, I did not heckle Nikhil. I need my time and
Yeah.
I don't know
30 seconds starts now.
In 30 seconds,
Yeah.
let me tell you this. And the Prime Minister had shared this article of mine from his official PMO handle. Indian economy is alive and kicking. We are today the world's second largest smartphone market. We have the world's fourth largest foreign exchange reserves. We have the world's seventh largest gold reserves. We are the third largest automobile producer. We are the world's fifth largest stock market. We are the world's second largest steel producer. We are the world's second largest cement producer. We are the world's third largest renewable energy producer. And my final point is this. When Prime Minister Modi took charge in 2014, as Prime Minister, the Indian economy in absolute terms was worth $2 trillion. Today it is worth almost $4.3 trillion.
Could it have been more?
Which is 115% growth.
Sanju Verma, could it have been more?
115% growth.
Okay, could it have been more? Just asking, could it have been more? Is that a valid question?
One more thing, Rahul, very quickly. Every discussion on the economy comes down to jobs.
Okay.
And the RBI data says from 2004 to 14, the Congress added 2.9 crore jobs.
Okay.
Under
I'm just asking you, could we have been in a better place? Sanju Verma, very quickly, 10 seconds. Could we have been on a better place? I really need to move on. Could we have been in a better place?
I think given the geopolitical headwinds, given the rise in global protectionism, if India is growing at 6.5% plus with inflation contained at less than 2%, I think this is as good as it gets.
Okay.
But like I said, winners always want more.
Okay.
So we want more, and that will happen under Narendra Modi.
Okay.
I'm so glad he's the Prime Minister.
Performance viewers, performance raises aspirations. And that perhaps is the reason why we have come to expect more of the Prime Minister, because of the performance. And I think even the O.P. Jindal University's sagacious economist is saying, yes, I agree with you that aspirations are growing because there is a hope of greater delivery. The delivery is very much there. Thank you. I just need to move on, viewers, because we come to a very interesting story. And this is a story that most Indians perhaps do not know about. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched a blistering counterattack at the Congress, reviving the ghosts of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks to question what he called was the UPA's, quote, softness, unquote, towards Pakistan. Speaking at a public rally, Prime Minister Modi cited former Home Minister P. Chidambaram's recent revelation, and this just happened last week, that India's armed forces were ready to strike Pakistan after 26/11, but were held back due to, quote, international pressure, unquote, viewers. The Prime Minister asked pointedly, who told the Congress to go soft on Pakistan? Who stopped India from responding? This is what he said, viewers. He said, and let me quote the Indian Prime Minister, he said, a senior Congress leader and former Home Minister has revealed that after 26/11, our security forces were ready to attack Pakistan, but due to pressure from another country, Congress government stopped our security forces, unquote. Now, he was referring to Chidambaram's admission made to a journalist recently, viewers, as recent as last week, that then United States Secretary of State in the days after the 26/11 Mumbai attack, that lady's name was Condoleezza Rice, had personally asked New Delhi not to retaliate. Yes, viewers, not to retaliate. She personally asked Manmohan Singh and company not to retaliate. And this revelation was made to a news outlet last week. Chidambaram said, quote, whole world was descending upon Delhi to tell us not to start a war. Condoleezza Rice, then US Secretary of State, met me and the Prime Minister. She says, please don't react. It did cross my mind that we should do some retribution. The conclusion, largely influenced by MEA and IFS, which is the Ministry of External Affairs and the Indian Foreign Service, was that we should not physically react to the situation, unquote, viewers. It's a mic drop moment, viewers. It's a mic drop moment. Why? Because it suggests that external influence dictated how India should respond in defense of its own territorial integrity. What bigger surrender than that, viewers? The Congress finds itself on the defensive. Recall that Rahul Gandhi had sought to score a debating point against the BJP on national security with the jibe that, quote, Modi surrendered to Trump, unquote. This is what Rahul Gandhi, LOP, said on the floor of the House. A call came from Trump and Narendra ji immediately surrendered. Narendra ji followed Trump saying, Narendra, surrender, by saying, yes, sir, unquote. Listen to this, viewers.
जैसे उधर से ट्रंप ने एक इशारा किया, फोन उठाया, कहा मोदी जी क्या कर रहे हो? नरेंद्र सरेंडर, और जी हजूर करके नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने ट्रंप के इशारे का पालन किया.
Prime Minister Modi is seized on the moment to turn the tables. The BJP is building on the Prime Minister's poser to project Modi as the symbol of strength and Rahul Gandhi as the face of strategic surrender, viewers. Let's open this up. Let's ask a point-blank question. Let me bring in Nikhil Jain, Ravi Srivastava. Ravi Srivastava, we just heard Mr. P. Chidambaram making it very clear that the Americans swept into Delhi. Condoleezza Rice led the charge. They told the UPA, then Dr. Manmohan Singh, Prime Minister, and the Union Home Minister, who was almost a day or two into his job, to say, "Aap Pakistan ke khilaf, you cannot take any action against Pakistan. आप पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ कोई भी एक्शन नहीं ले सकते." और आप लोगों ने उनकी बात मान ली. This is exactly what Chidambaram has said. Even he said, intuitively I felt that we should do something, but the IFS and MEA lobby said no. Who is the biggest surrenderer, sir?
Good evening, Rahul. First of all, I think what Chidambaram has said is in black and white. It is not that he has minced any words. He said that his personal opinion that he should retaliate, India should retaliate, but his own colleagues with the Prime Minister who consulted everyone and they decided that no retaliation should be done. But I have got some counter questions here.
No, one second. No. You have left out a very important point, that it was Condoleezza Rice who was sent by the then, if you remember, and we are talking about Bush, if I'm not mistaken, George W. Bush, and then of course the next year came Obama. But George W. Bush said, "Mat kijiye ji, koi hamla mat kijiye Pakistan pe. Kya fayda? Surrender kijiye." And aapne baat maan li.
See, there are several questions. That is what I am saying. Yes, it is whatever you are saying may be correct.
Maybe I am not saying, sir. It is Mr. Chidambaram who is saying.
Condoleezza Rice came to India. This is a fact. Condoleezza Rice said that don't.
So she didn't come to make popcorn here, right? She came here to give us advice, and we took it. I
have got questions. Who pressured Mr. Narendra Modi
to
I mean, call the highest?
Sir, that is your assumption. Here there is a confession. 1 minute. Let me bring in Abhijit Iyer Mitra, who's a student of.
This is unfair.
No, what unfair, sir?
This is unfair. You are not allowing me to speak.
No, but Mr. Srivastava, your question is very simple.
What pressured Mr. Narendra Modi?
Who has told you? Who has told you that he was pressured?
Who pressured
told
Mr.
you?
Narendra Modi?
Who told you?
To react
is it written in any book? Did the NSA write a book?
To India for terror tourism.
Okay.
Who pressured Mr. Modi to call a ceasefire? Please tell me.
Is this a valid question, Abhijit Iyer Mitra? 1 second. Let's throw it open. Is it a valid question? Is it an attempt to try and obfuscate? What is this now? When Chidambaram says, sorry, we listened to the Americans, we kowtowed to the Americans, have the UPA and the Congress lost the moral high ground to question the BJP, the Prime Minister, or are they trying to draw a false equivalence? What do you make of it?
So, Rahul, the problem here is the Congress has, at least for the last 20, 30 years, never had the moral high ground. You see, I can totally understand US pressure in the wake of their need to maintain their troops in Afghanistan. When did the 9/11 attack happen and when did they get into Afghanistan? That was in early on September 11, 2001, I think. Now, what happens after that is the American troops go there, they need a land bridge and they go through Pakistan. So there was going to be pressure on India. At that time, the government in India was the Vajpayee government. There was pressure on us not to respond to the parliament attack. What did we do? We put up a massive mobilization on the front. We said, fine, we will not attack, but that doesn't mean Pakistan goes scot-free. We're going to bleed Pakistan dry in the best way we can. And that was Operation Parakram at that point of time, right? Which really bled them dry. Yeah. Their finances were brought to wrecking point at that time. They did something. Now, in 2008, when the Americans were already familiar with the kind of duplicity Pakistan and the ISI does, for you to say that you won't, at least put your troops on the border, na? At least you had the template of Parakram. You didn't even want to do that. Far from it. Do you remember? The chief of the ISI was invited over to join the investigation in India.
Yes.
It is like inviting a rapist over to join the rape investigation in India. Kya tamasha laga ke rakha hai? So, even compared to what, and remember, Vajpayee was under much greater pressure in the same year as 9/11 to not attack Pakistan. He still did a lot. So, compare it even to their own predecessor, it was nothing. Here, what happened? This is the highest scale of military action that we've seen since the 1971 war. We've hit Pakistan directly. We've hit all kinds of air bases, naval bases, strategic installations, and things like that. We have defrayed any attacks coming in. And what did we offer them ultimately on day 4, Rahul? The same thing we offered them on day 1. We are hitting terror targets. If the Pakistan army does not respond, we will not respond. What was the offer on day 1 remained the offer on day 4. So what was the pressure? See, if it had been on day 4, the offer was something totally different. I can understand this. But how are you pressuring me if the offer on day 4 is the same as day 1, boss? It completely, this is a total inversion of logic happening out here.
Okay, so
sorry, one last point, if you'll allow me,
Yeah,
Rahul.
of course, yeah.
The only person that we have saying that he put pressure on us was Trump himself. Because neither J.D. Vance nor Marco Rubio, who made the calls, ever said, they've actually spoken about the calls they made. Did they ever use the term? See, what happens is, invariably in diplomacy, leaders say things when they're very angry to their foreign minister and their interlocutors. And those interlocutors are usually very calm people who convey it in a very diplomatic language. Mollycoddling and things like that.
Yes.
So there is absolutely no proof. Any kind of pressure.
No proof. There is none. There's a claim which is oft repeated. Now, of course, it is taken on a very different contour that I was a facilitator, this, that, the other. First he said I was the broker. Then he said I actually mediated. Now he's saying that no, I'm a... Anyhow, that's the words keep changing because Trump, as you know, viewers, is Trump. But I just want to quickly come out to you, Sanju Verma. It's an important question. Look, this major claim has been made by the Home Minister of that time himself. Should we not institute some sort of an inquiry to find out exactly what happened? There must be a large number. You see, even Shiv Shankar Menon, Fali Homi Major, Manish Tiwari, all these people have now come out and subsequently, in some ways or the other, seconded what Mr. Chidambaram has said. So we need to know, was there some, was it just a few words, pillow talk, or was there a lot more?
Rahul, first and foremost, I think Abhijit Iyer Mitra has laid down the minutiae. I particularly like when he spoke about this inversion of logic. So I will not dwell on the inversion of logic. I want to draw the attention of your viewers. I will answer your pointed question. I'm not running away from it. An inquiry should be instituted. And Fali Homi Major went so far as saying the Indian Air Force was well equipped to avenge the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack, but the proxy government of Sonia Gandhi and puppet Prime Minister Manmohan Singh said no. Nothing could be more disgraceful. I want to tell you something else. Rahul, don't forget, 2005 Delhi bombing, 62 killed. No action by Congress. 2006 Varanasi bombings, 28 killed. Zero action by Congress. 2006 Mumbai train blast, 209 killed. Zero action by Congress. 2007 Samjhauta Express blast, fine. People were released now, but 68 killed. Not even basic inquiry by the Congress. 2008 Ahmedabad bombings, called the tiffin bombings, 56 killed. And the Congress was caught snoozing at the wheel. My pointed question is this. Today you lambast Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Thank God he's the Prime Minister. We had Operation Sindoor, where we not only crossed the LOC, Rahul, we not only crossed the international border, we struck at the heart of Rawalpindi.
Okay.
We completely paralyzed the military combat readiness of Pakistan. And we completely annihilated more than 100 terror stations or terror launch
Okay, so let me ask a question.
Well.
Let me ask a question. Mr. Jain, very quickly, sir, you have a minute. Who did Dr. Manmohan Singh refer to when he says that the number one security threat to this country? Do you remember who he was talking about?
Rahul, Prime Minister Modi.
No, I'm talking about Dr. Manmohan Singh. When he was talking about the number one threat to India's internal security. Do you know who he was talking about, sir?
Rahul, can we stop playing a quiz here and get to the point?
So I'll tell you, viewers, the reason I asked this question, it's an important one. He was talking about urban Naxals and Maoist terrorists, an agglomeration that has set up a vast area, a corridor from north to south almost, viewers, and were trying to bring India asunder from within. Who, viewers, has been able to exterminate even that scourge? That is the Union Home Minister under the aegis of the Prime Minister, Amit Shah and Narendra Modi respectively, who have been able to finish even this.
That's not correct.
So,
That's not
so,
correct. That's not correct. If you look,
so let me tell you. So forget about for a moment. Forget about for a moment. Forget about. Okay, sir, why are you shouting over me? Have I engaged you? No, I only asked you a question. You gave up your right to answer. I'm not sitting here on Kaun Baro Karodpati, sir. I'm only asking you a question. So you've now lost the chance. I'm only saying, viewers, the fact is, whether it's external or it's internal, there is an individual who has taken some action. I'm not being biased. The figures are speaking. People are surrendering. Viewers.
No, please do tell the figures. Please do tell the figures of the deaths of security forces.
Today there are only 8 Naxal-infested districts.
I mean, can you believe it, viewers? Can you believe the numbers have come down to single digits of security forces? I'm not saying that even one security force personnel should be killed. Okay. Too much noise. Viewers, the fact is, even those statistics, it's okay, just ignore. Even those statistics, viewers, of the number of security personnel dying because of insurgency in the valley have come down to single digits, viewers, per week. I'm not saying that there should be even one. There should not even be one. But it has come down from, yes.
Killings in the valley are down more than 77%.
Yes.
Terror incidents are down more than 68%.
I think that's well known. That's well known. It's well known. I don't want to tempt fate, viewers, but you know what we are talking about. My question now is, who basically came in and on what circumstances still the Congress's hand? That's a very important question, viewers. It's very important, and we should have a full-fledged inquiry, perhaps set up under the aegis of a court, to get into this, viewers. People are ready to come out and depose. The truth will be out. But I need to move on. Because, viewers, there's some big breaking news coming in on the show. And it's a very, very serious story with massive implications. Now, this big news is related to the company that manufactured the toxic cough syrup, viewers. Srisan Pharmaceuticals. After being banned once, the company changed its name. There are the documents, viewers, that testify to this, and obtained a license. The company, founded in 1990, was closed in 2009 due to a lack of adequate documentation. Yes, viewers, it is operating out of a town in Tamil Nadu. In 2011, it registered and obtained a license under the new name, Srisan Pharmaceuticals, manufacturers. News 18 has documents related to the company. Recently, drug controller of Madhya Pradesh, Dinesh Maurya, was removed from his office. But viewers, the trail goes all the way around the country. Shailendra Singh Bhadoria is here with us. Shailendra ji, आप थोड़ा हमारे को विस्तार से बताइए कि ये मामला है क्या, किसकी गलती है, और ये जो कंपनी है जो ये एक किस्म से जहरीला कॉफ सिरप बना रही थी, ये इतने सालों के लिए अनडिटेक्टेड कैसे रह गई?
देखिए, बिल्कुल अपने आप में बड़ा सवाल यही है कि 1990 में इस कंपनी का जो है गठन होता है और उसके बाद 2009 तक ये कंपनी जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का काम करती है, लेकिन 2009 में इसकी कंपनी के बारे में पता चलता है कि इसके जो सैंपल है वो फेल हुए। इसके साथ ही जो आवश्यक दस्तावेज हैं वो इस कंपनी के पास फुलफिल नहीं कर पा रहे, और यही कारण है कि इस कंपनी को बंद कर देने के आदेश जो है वो सरकार की तरफ से दिए गए थे। लेकिन जो रंगनाथन परिवार है उसकी तरफ से इस कंपनी का गठन किया गया था, तो 2009 तक वो लोग इस कंपनी को चलाते हैं, और उसके बाद 2011 में एक नई नाम से, यानी पहले जो है वो श्रीसन फार्मास्यूटिकल्स लिमिटेड के नाम से कंपनी शुरू की थी, लेकिन 2011 में वो जो रजिस्ट्रेशन कराते हैं वो श्रीसन फार्मास्यूटिकल्स जो है वो मैन्युफैक्चरर के नाम से करा देते हैं। इतना ही नहीं, जो दोनों एड्रेस है वो एड्रेस भी बदले जाते हैं। लेकिन बड़ी बात यह है कि जो उसके डायरेक्टर्स थे, बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर थे, वो सेम के सेम थे। रंगनाथन परिवार के 4 से 5 लोग जो है वो इस पूरे इस जो कंपनी थी उसमें वही लोग डायरेक्टर रहते हैं, केवल नाम बदला जाता है और कंपनी का एड्रेस बदला जाता है, और उसके बाद फिर से एक बार ये कंपनी शुरू हो जाती है। और कहीं ना कहीं ये जहरीला सिरप, अभी देखिए अभी तो केवल सिरप के सैंपल्स लिए
नहीं तो
गए हैं
आप
जो
मुझे
हानिकारक
एक मिनट मुझे
साबित हुए।
बताइए भटोरिया जी, ये बेसिकली ये मामला किसने नजरअंदाज किया है? ये देखिए बच्चों की तस्वीरें हैं, देर आर पिक्चर्स व्यूअर्स ऑफ लॉन्ग सफरिंग इन्फेंट्स who have unfortunately been given this cough syrup. Many, as you know, have died. Almost a dozen are dead. Others are struggling, hanging between life and death. This is a massive sin, viewers, of omission, possibly also of commission. But Mr. Bhadoria, मुझे आप ये बताइए कि ये किसने नजरअंदाज किया है? कौन इसका सबसे बड़ा गुनाहगार है?
देखिए बिल्कुल निश्चित तौर पर देखिए गुनहगार सबसे बड़ा स्वास्थ्य विभाग है, जिसका ये काम होता है। जो ड्रग इंस्पेक्टर्स होते हैं या जो कहें ड्रग कंट्रोलर होते हैं, जिनकी जिम्मेदारी होती है कोई भी कंपनी अगर लॉन्च होती है तो उसमें क्या कुछ प्रोडक्ट है और क्या क्या कंटेंट जो है वो परोस रहे हैं, और इसके साथ ही क्या इसकी कंपनी से जुड़े लोग जो है पहले किसी तरीके से ऐसी कंपनी में तो काम नहीं कर रहे थे जिसको बैन करना पड़ा था, जिसके पास पर्याप्त दस्तावेज नहीं थे, या फिर जिसके सैंपल फेल हुए थे, और उन्हीं प्रोडक्ट को लेकर नए नाम से एक बार फिर कंपनी आती, तो सीधे तौर पर स्वास्थ्य विभाग जो है वो उसमें कटघरे में खड़ा नजर आ रहा है। क्योंकि जिस कंपनी के रंगनाथन परिवार के वही सदस्य जो है वो एक जो कंपनी चला रहे थे श्रीसेन फार्मास्यूटिकल्स लिमिटेड, उसको जब बैन किया गया और 2 साल बाद भी वही डायरेक्टर नया एड्रेस बदलकर, केवल कंपनी का नाम बदलकर फिर से एक बार मार्केट में आते, तो ये अपने आप में बड़ा सवाल है कि जो स्वास्थ्य विभाग के जो लोग हैं, खासकर ड्रग कंट्रोलर है, जिनकी जिम्मेदारी होती है कि आखिर मध्य प्रदेश में हो या फिर पूरे देश भर में जो कंपनियां काम कर रही हैं वो किस तरह का कंटेंट इस्तेमाल कर रही है, किस तरह के रसायन इस्तेमाल कर रही है। क्योंकि इस कंपनी के बारे में कई बड़े खुलासे हुए हैं कि प्रोपिलीन ग्लाइकोन जैसा जो एसिड जैसा एक रसायन होता है उसको ये इस्तेमाल कर रही थी। ये तमिलनाडु में खुलासा हुआ है, और मध्य प्रदेश में अब तक 20 बच्चे जो है वो काल के गाल में समा चुके हैं, और 9 बच्चे जो है अभी भी नागपुर में जीवन की जंग लड़ रहे हैं। तो ऐसे में बड़ा सवाल है कि जिस कंपनी के सिरप पीने से 20 बच्चों की केवल मध्य प्रदेश में मौत हो गई हो, अगर पड़ोसी राज्य राजस्थान की बात करता हूं तो वहां से भी 3 मौतें रिपोर्ट की गई हैं। ये अपने आप में बताता है कि कितनी बड़ी लापरवाही जो है स्वास्थ्य बरती गई है।
Let me, this is very, very important, viewers. A company that failed the regulatory check comes back under a different avatar, sets up shop, and produces this poisonous brew. It all started, of course, in rural Madhya Pradesh, viewers. A few children with ordinary cold symptoms like cough, fever, mild discomfort were given a locally prescribed cough syrup. Within days, instead of recovering, they developed dark urine, lethargy, and signs of kidney failure. One by one, the tragedy spread. Long before authorities were linking the deaths to a contaminated medical syrup called Cold Riff. Now, Cold Riff, viewers, was being manufactured from the most unprepossessing unit in a city in Tamil Nadu, on the outskirts of Chennai. Viewers. And this was going on right under the nose of the health authorities for a decade. When this particular scandal has burst upon our conscience, viewers, and reporters have gone to this particular factory, a large number of its workers had cleaned the factory out, but it turned out to be a 1 or 2 room tenement in an apartment complex, a ramshackle apartment complex. It was no sophisticated medical facility, viewers, pharmacy, or any sort of manufacturing unit with any controls. It was completely unregulated. And this is the chilling aspect of this story, that individuals can function with impunity, manufacturing dangerously high levels of toxins, which they put into medicines because they don't know how to produce them and then sell them, viewers, to the poorest of the poor. And I'll tell you why, viewers, this story is still not making the headlines, because it involves the death of poor children. There are no VIPs here involved. The day a VIP falls into this particular ambit, there would have been a furor or a rich person. No, because it's the poor in some far-flung district of Madhya Pradesh, no one cares. No action will be taken. And that's the sickening aspect of all of this, viewers. Our job is to expose, We can't go there, viewers, and book people. We should start a public movement. We'll be reporting this story as we have been doing over the last few days. I'll leave it at this, viewers, but I'm right back after this short break with a very crucial update on the Tata story. Don't go away.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Bombay High Court has asked actor Shilpa Shetty and her husband Raj Kundra to first deposit 60 crore rupees if they want to travel to Los Angeles and other foreign countries. Remember, this comes after the couple moved the High Court seeking quashing of a lookout circular issued against them over a FIR related to alleged 60 crore rupees fraud. Now, the High Court, the Bombay High Court, taking a very stern view and asking the couple, actor Shilpa Shetty and her husband Raj Kundra, to first deposit 60 crore rupees if they want permission to travel to any foreign country. Remember, the couple had moved the Bombay High Court seeking quashing of the lookout circular against them in the case where they allegedly defrauded 60 crore rupees. Mayuresh now joins us for more on this. Mayuresh, a huge setback for Shilpa Shetty and Raj Kundra. The Bombay High Court taking a very stern view and not giving any relief, saying that they have to deposit 60 crore rupees if they intend to travel abroad.
Absolutely, because they had approached Bombay High Court with the anticipation that they will get some kind of relief from the Apex Court. But now Bombay High Court has asked them that if they have to travel abroad, then they have to basically deposit the 60 crore amount to the court as a surety, or we can say the security deposit, and then only they can go abroad and do their professional work or whatever the commitments they have got. But now it will be interesting to see that what Shilpa Shetty and Raj Kundra do next, whether they deposit that amount or not, or or whether they move to the Apex Court or what, that needs to be seen.
Mayuresh, in fact, in cases of this nature, we usually see a lot of argument on the flight risk that is there when somebody approaches the court seeking permission to travel abroad. But looks like the Bombay High Court wants to ensure that the 60 crore rupees is first deposited before they travel, and that's the amount that is allegedly that has been defrauded by the couple.
Absolutely, because as I said, that whenever anyone moves to the High Court or the Apex Court, there is a kind of a sense that they may get some kind of a relief in that matter, and with that aim only the Kundra and Shilpa Shetty had moved to Bombay High Court, because they are in their plea, they have mentioned that they have some prior commitments, and for that they have to travel to abroad. But here the court has taken a very serious case, and they have exactly asked them that first you deposit the 60 crore rupees, and then only we will allow you to go abroad, and whatever the commitments you have, you can fulfill.
In fact, Arunama is also now joining us for more on this. Arunama, we usually see a lot of debate on whether there is a flight risk whenever somebody approaches a court in a matter of this nature. But in this one, the Bombay High Court making it very clear that the couple needs to deposit the money if they intend to travel abroad. Does it now also give a huge boost to the investigating agencies looking into this case now?
Yes, this was a lookout circular which had said that, if they had to travel abroad, the agencies at the immigration point will have to detain them as per this lookout circular. This is a 60 crore fraud case that we're looking at, but there's also a parallel investigation that is going on in the Bitcoin case by the Enforcement Directorate. And in that too, prosecution complaint has been filed by the ED against Raj Kundra. Shilpa Shetty's role too has been mentioned. We'll have to wait and see if the court treats her as an accused in that case or not. But together, these two cases is building up, two separate agencies finding evidence to show prima facie financial fraud or money laundering in the case of ED definitely doesn't augur well. And the fact that they moved a High Court-like platform and could not convince the judge about their intention, because Shilpa Shetty argued that she...
Viewers, the infighting within the Tata Group has reached the highest corridors of power. Sources within the Tata Group reveal there is an ongoing coup attempt by 4 Tata trustees, Darius Khambata, Pramit Jhaveri, Meheli Mistry, and Jahangir, who have been accused of trying to act as a super board. That's the allegation, viewers. Meanwhile, Tata Trust Chairman Noel Tata and Tata Sons Chairman N. Chandrasekharan met Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to discuss the crisis and a way forward. All eyes will, of course, be on those mediatory efforts.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Bombay High Court has asked actor Shilpa Shetty and her husband Raj Kundra to first deposit 60 crore rupees if they want to travel to Los Angeles and other foreign countries. Remember, this comes after the couple moved the High Court seeking quashing of a lookout circular issued against them over a FIR related to alleged 60 crore rupees fraud. Now, the High Court, the Bombay High Court, taking a very stern view and asking the couple, actor Shilpa Shetty and her husband Raj Kundra, to first deposit 60 crore rupees if they want permission to travel to any foreign country. Remember, the couple had moved the Bombay High Court seeking quashing of the lookout circular against them in the case where they allegedly defrauded 60 crore rupees. Mayuresh now joins us for more on this. Mayuresh, a huge setback for Shilpa Shetty and Raj Kundra. The Bombay High Court taking a very stern view and not giving any relief, saying that they have to deposit 60 crore rupees if they intend to travel abroad.
Absolutely, because they had approached Bombay High Court with the anticipation that they will get some kind of relief from the Apex Court. But now Bombay High Court has asked them that if they have to travel abroad, then they have to basically deposit the 60 crore amount to the court as a surety, or we can say the security deposit, and then only they can go abroad and do their professional work or whatever the commitments they have got. But now it will be interesting to see that what Shilpa Shetty and Raj Kundra do next, whether they deposit that amount or not, or whether they move to the Apex Court or what, that needs to be seen.
Mayuresh, in fact, in cases of this nature, we usually see a lot of argument on the flight risk that is there when somebody approaches the court seeking permission to travel abroad. But looks like the Bombay High Court wants to ensure that the 60 crore rupees is first deposited before they travel, and that's the amount that is allegedly that has been defrauded by the couple.
Absolutely, because as I said, that whenever anyone moves to the High Court or the Apex Court, there is a kind of a sense that they may get some kind of a relief in that matter, and with that aim only the Kundra and Shilpa Shetty had moved to Bombay High Court, because they are in their plea, they have mentioned that they have some prior commitments, and for that they have to travel to abroad. But here the court has taken a very serious case, and they have exactly asked them that first you deposit the 60 crore rupees, and then only we will allow you to go abroad, and whatever the commitments you have, you can fulfill.
In fact, Arunama is also now joining us for more on this. Arunama, we usually see a lot of debate on whether there is a flight risk whenever somebody approaches a court in a matter of this nature. But in this one, the Bombay High Court making it very clear that the couple needs to deposit the money if they intend to travel abroad. Does it now also give a huge boost to the investigating agencies looking into this case now?
Yes, this was a lookout circular which had said that, if they had to travel abroad, the agencies at the immigration point will have to detain them as per this lookout circular. This is a 60 crore fraud case that we're looking at, but there's also a parallel investigation that is going on in the bid